kind of stress. We're talking about the stress that actually heals. And this, it's called hormesis. It's a low or moderate level of a stressor that causes the body to work in, how would I say it? Imagine you had a battery in your car, right? And the battery was sort of down, you know, and you're turning and you're hoping, right? You take that battery and you recharge it, fully charged, or like I did recently, I had this battery, you know, batteries don't last forever, right? And it was, you know, so it died on me. I put this new battery in there, and when I turned that key, what do you think happened? Man, she was purring like, yeah? That is what moderate to low level of hormetic stresses do to us. They cause the body to function at optimal. And so we're going to talk a lot. We've talked about some others. Water, hot water, yes? Cold water, contrast, hot and cold. We talked about HIIT exercise where you go fast for 30 seconds, you slow down for 4 minutes, and you keep going up and down for 4 changes. All of these are stressing the body. There are some chemicals in some food that also stress the body. And 2 of them you see there. You probably won't guess the one on the left, but it looks like some sort of sprouts, right? Anybody got an idea of what plant that is? It is broccoli sprouts. And there is a chemical in broccoli sprouts called sulforaphane. It's not only in broccoli sprouts, it's in broccoli, it's in cabbage, it's in kale. It's in a number of these foods that sometimes they don't seem to taste that nice. You know, you got to doctor them up. And somehow the things that help us also irritate us. You know what I mean? Sometimes the thing we really need to do is the things that's going to get us moving, and it's a challenge to us. And the truth of the matter is we don't grow apart from challenges. So if you want to avoid all challenges, then you will not grow. So sulforaphane is the chemical. And there's another word under there, NRF2ARE. You don't have to worry about any of that. But what it does, it supercharges your body's detoxification system. And is that important? Is that important or unimportant? Because that lies at the foundation as to whether you get sick or not, right? Because we're always breathing in toxins, and the food we eat has toxins in it. The type of food some of us eat is toxic. You know what I mean? We take something and we deep fry it, we plunge it down in this oil, it's dripping, and we just suck on it. You know what I mean? But you know that is toxic to the body. That oil is transformed by that super high heat that makes it a cancer-causing element, right? It's no longer healthy or normal, even though it tastes. Got me? So what this does, it's both in broccoli sprouts and it's also in curcumin. That's the yellow pigment in turmeric, right? And it upregulates detoxification enzyme. Enzymes are basically, there are switches in your body that turn things off and on, right? And so it supercharges your detoxification system. So that's what it does. It stimulates also what we call your antioxidant system. An antioxidant, I look at it like anti-rusting, you know? You take an apple and you cut it and you leave it out on the counter. What happens to it? As the day goes on, it goes what? It gets brown because of the action of oxidation from the oxygen in the air. It starts to decompose. What antioxidants do is protect that process. but this is on the inside. So if you have a lot of what we call pro-oxidants, they damage and destroy your cells, which can lead to cancer and a whole lot of other issues. So these powerful chemicals in these two plants, turmeric and broccoli sprouts in particular, very important. So what does sulforaphane do? Let's look at hypertension. It can reduce your systolic blood pressure by 14 points and your diastolic by 8. Is that good? That's exceptionally good, right? And all it is what? Broccoli sprouts, right? You know, a handful of broccoli sprouts, add it to your salad or anything like that. That is going to be very potent in lowering blood pressure. Cardiovascular disease, it improves the function of the inside of your cells. Inside of your blood vessels is called the endothelium, right? And just imagine, now the endothelium opens, helps the blood vessels open and close. If it's not functioning well, what's going to happen to your blood vessels? Are they going to be stiff or flexible? They're going to be stiff. And so what's going to happen to your blood pressure? It's going to go up because your blood vessels are stiff, which was created by the endothelium is not functioning well. So if you're eating lots of broccoli or broccoli sprouts, that's going to protect the inside lining, and that's going to make your blood vessels real responsive. Cancer prevention, very potent. It accelerates the detoxification of cancer-causing elements. In other words, if you eat something that's pro-cancer and you ate a lot of broccoli sprouts with it, it could shut down some of the cancer-causing effects of that food. So this is very important. If you could actually grow your own broccoli sprouts or what we call microgreens, they grow within 2 weeks, and the nutrients in those broccoli sprouts are probably 10 to 20 times more than the full-grown plant, which will take months to grow, but you can grow it in 2 weeks, right? Isn't that amazing? Improves blood sugar control and diabetes, and it's also helpful for autism. And so we're just going to look a little bit at that. This is a study. They took these individuals that have had autism, and any of you are exposed to individuals that have autism and their behavior and you know, all of those characteristics. Well, they gave them the equivalent of a quarter cup of broccoli a day. And let's look at this. Can you see this? This is a ABC scoring system, which looks at their sensory, how they relate to people, their body and object use, how they, navigate, language, and social and self-help. So all of these are qualities that are depressed in individuals that have autism. And in this study, they gave them the broccoli sprouts, and you see this score going down? And it was going down. This is out 20 weeks. This is at the start. This is the group that did not get any broccoli sprouts. This is the group that got the broccoli sprouts. So what happened here that caused it to go back up? Anybody guess? What's your guess? What's your guess? They stopped eating the broccoli. All right? Real simple, right? This is another one of the scales they use, social responsiveness scale. How well they respond socially, right? And you can see here also going down up to 20 weeks, and then when they stopped, all the symptoms came back. So what does that tell you? If you're giving somebody something and all their symptoms go away, and you take it away from them, and it comes back, then it demonstrates that what you were doing was actually what? Working. All right. So anybody you know who has autism, give it a go. Get them to eat some broccoli, sprouts every day. Okay? Isn't that powerful? So it helps with cancer. It helps with lowering blood pressure. Helps with autism. Just amazing. Let's look at curcumin. That yellow spice in turmeric. Ulcerative colitis. Meta-analysis looked at a number of studies, and it was 2.4 times higher rates of clinical remission, right? So people who had these ulcerations in their colon, they were less likely to have that condition come back because the turmeric had affected that inflammatory process because it's a powerful anti-inflammatory. Rheumatoid arthritis reduces joint swelling, tenderness, inflammatory markers, multiple myeloma, stable disease, diabetes. It improves blood sugar control, reduces complications. And then this is looking at cancer. If you see here, enhanced apoptosis. And what does that word mean? That's a self-suicide experience. When a cell can't fix itself, it self-sabotages itself. It kills itself so that it can be taken out of the body. Are you with me? That's what it's supposed to do. But in the case of cancer, that abnormal cell doesn't what? Self-suicide, it perpetuates. So when you add curcumin to the mix, it causes those cancer cells to kill themselves. All right? So that's how it works. So the internal kill switch is turned on, and those tumor cells start shrinking. It's a chemosensitizer, and that means it actually helps the drug to work better. Chemo drugs work better when you mix it with curcumin. It helps it do what it's supposed to do by helping the cancer to be more visible to the chemotherapy drug. It also decreases the side effects created by chemotherapy. So it enhances the effectiveness and decreases the side effects. Isn't that something? Inflammation is fertile ground for tumor growth. The higher the inflammatory markers, and they could be measured in the blood, the less likely people will survive. And we've looked at studies where you see people who have the lowest level of inflammation, and survival compared with those who have the highest level, and those with the highest level are more likely to pass, and those with the lowest are more likely to survive. And curcumin is a powerful anti-inflammatory. Anti-angiogenesis. Curcumin chokes off the blood supply to tumors, so they grow slower. Cancer cells have to grow, right? And there are blood cells that are sprouted into those cancer cells so that they can get bigger and bigger. And what turmeric does is shuts off that mechanism so the cancer cells can't grow as efficiently. All right. Berberine. Any of you familiar with what is that? Diabetic medication. Anybody know any names of diabetic medications? Metformin, right? Well, metformin works the same way as berberine works. Berberine comes from plants, a number of plants, but you would have to get it in a supplement form. and they're identical in how they work, right? They both work the same way. And there was a study that compared metformin with berberine, and the results were identical. The good thing about berberine is there are no side effects. Only good things. There are side effects, and are typical drugs, but let's look at some of these benefits. Glycemic control, it's a 10 out of 10. That means it's very good for controlling blood sugar and not creating any side effects. That's a good thing, right? All right, lipid lowering. It also significantly lowers cholesterol. So it lowers blood sugar and it lowers cholesterol. It's a powerful anti-inflammatory like turmeric. So it decreases inflammation. So it should also help in inflammatory diseases like arthritis and cancer and all the like. All right, 500 milligrams 3 times a day with meals. You can buy it at a health food store. Can't hurt you. It definitely can help you in multiple ways. Gut microbiome modulation. You may have heard more about the gut, and if our gut is not in balance, we end up with a lot of issues. And berberine actually feeds the good bacteria that grow in your colon. The good bacteria help what? They're going to help your immune system. They're going to keep your GI tract, in balance. You're not going to end up with what we call leaky gut, where things get into your system that shouldn't get in there. You end up with all these sensitivities and allergies and all these issues because the barrier between your colon and into your system is broken down, it's weakened. And so when we have these good bacteria, this is good. It's also antimicrobial, so it kills microbes, and it protects the heart against damage. So that's one plant, right? You can buy it at the health food store. It can help with immunity and a whole lot of other things. One thing key about it, it is a hormetic stressor, okay? So that is berberine. All right, so we talked a little bit about these here, and I figured I'd have some more time, so we're going to talk a little bit about blood pressure. Now, there are 5 what I would call biological factors in your body that keep your blood pressure in control. When those 5 factors are out of balance, that's how you end up with high blood pressure. Are you with me? So as opposed to just giving a pill to cause your blood pressure to drop, I think the best thing to do is to say, okay, how can I make sure the systems that normally keep the blood pressure normal are working at optimal level? Doesn't that make sense? Okay, so this first one, I'm not going to talk about what the system is, but I'm just going to talk about the factors that can normalize that system, right? How is that? Okay, this first one, ARAAS. The system is out of balance, so there are some natural things you can do to bring it back in balance, and one of them is garlic. And this particular is looking at what is called an aged garlic extract. You can buy it as an extract, and it has some advantages. Overall, it's shown to lower the blood pressure by 11.8 systolic, 6.3 diastolic, and it works like an ACE inhibitor drug, the blood pressure drug called ACE inhibitors. Aged garlic extract works like that. Hibiscus tea is very important in causing your blood pressure to decrease. Combination of all the studies looked at about 10 point systolic, 3 diastolic. Another study showed close to over 10 systolic, and over 5, 6 diastolic. Now that's equivalent of about a tablespoon of dried hibiscus flower that's steeped, right? You can steep it for like 15, 20 minutes, right? And drink that throughout the day. And every day, a tablespoon. Very powerful. Then it's hawthorn berry extract. But here's something you can get at the grocery store, and that is flaxseed. And that can lower your blood pressure significantly, over 10 points. It's an ACE inhibitor also. And we're looking at about, if you really got a problem, close to 3 tablespoons of ground flaxseed a day. Okay? That will relax those arteries. All of that extra fiber in there is going to help your bowels. It's going to help lower your cholesterol. If you're having hot flashes, it's going to reduce your hot flashes. All the change of life situations as we get older, it helps to balance things out. And that's just a seed, flaxseed. All right? And then overall, a plant-based diet significantly lowers blood pressure. All right, so that's one of them. Sympathetic nervous system. Maybe I say a little bit about sympathetic. Sympathetic is gets you, you know, fight or flight, right? Yeah. Oh, you're high strung, you're stressed out. Are you with me? Parasympathetic is slows you down, right? Gets you nice and calm and cool as a cucumber, right? And I don't think we're going to go farther than this. So the question is, what are natural things that will do what to your sympathetic nervous system? Will calm it down. And if it calms it down, it affects your what? Affects your blood pressure. Affects your ability to handle stress. Okay? It affects your ability to sleep, right? Some of us are not sleeping because we're wired. Yeah, you know, we're thinking about everything under the sun, right? Our sympathetic nervous system is up there, right? Some of us are driven, you know, we're workaholics, we're just going all the time. So what has happened to our sympathetic nervous system? It's on high gear, right? So what we want to do is calm it down. And when we calm it down, that helps with blood pressure control. Forest bathing. I saw this concept, but basically what it's saying is out in nature, stay out in nature. And in some studies, it's several hours. And the overall decrease in blood pressure is 8 points systolic, 5 points diastolic, just by getting out and staying out in nature, all right? So often we stay in buildings all the time, you know what I mean? We need to get out in the fresh air. Right, Dr. Fadlin? Get out of these concrete buildings. Yeah? Direct our patients out into to nature, right? Now, if you go along the beach, it's lots of negative ions that are created from the surf, and that's why people who go to the beach tend to sleep better. Right? Isn't that amazing? I think so. Deep breathing. Man, I would like to talk about this. This is a looking out at nature, at real nature or fake nature. Real nature, looking outdoors help, you know, visualization, the trees blowing and all of that. But there's nothing like being there because all the chemicals, the plant chemicals are coming out from the plants and they're lowering our stress levels, right? They're increasing our immune cells, your natural killer cells that fight against cancer, increase as you go out in nature. So the blessed place to heal is in a natural environment. It's not in a building. It's in a garden setting where there are trees, where there are birds that are flying, where the surf is going back and forth. At any rate, breathing. There's a breathing technique that decreases blood pressure by 15 points diastolic, 15 points systolic. We're not going to have the time to go into all of it, but the same breathing technique helps with stress. It helps with post-traumatic stress disorders. It helps with anxiety and depression, and I could go on and on and on and on. What is the technique? If you were going to your doctor's office and you had high blood pressure, if you did this technique for 15 minutes before you got your blood pressure measured, guarantee you it's going to drop significantly. I've seen it. Patient that come in and see me, the blood pressure is high, and then we do this technique for 2 minutes and the blood pressure drops 20 points. Okay, so what's that breathing technique? And we're going to end with this here. It's 6 full breaths per minute. You breathe in to 5 seconds, and then you breathe out to 5 seconds. Exactly 5 seconds. 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. You do it for 10 minutes twice a day. That's it. That's it. That'll help you sleep. That'll lower your blood pressure. That'll help you when you're all stressed out. You're feeling flustered, you know. Now you breathe in through your nose and you breathe out through your nose, okay? Right? And it's a slow, it's not like you go, you know what I mean, and you hold it. No, you are going in 5 seconds. 5 seconds. And it takes 5 seconds before your lungs are full, and it takes 5 seconds before your lungs are emptied, right? You do that for 10 minutes. Guarantee your blood pressure will drop like a ton of bricks, okay? That turns off the sympathetic nervous system and turns on the parasympathetic system. It relaxes you. It's better than yoga. It's better than all that Eastern stuff. It's just amazing.